I never wanted to come to Vietnam. None of us did. But Uncle Sam had other plans for us in 1969, and before I knew it, I was trudging through jungles so thick you couldn't see 10 feet ahead. The heat was the worst part, like being wrapped in a wet, hot blanket day and night. Our squad was on a routine patrol when it happened. Just a simple mission. Check out reports of enemy movement near a small village, then head back to base. Nothing we hadn't done 100 times before. I was walking point that day. The rain had just stopped, and steam rose from the ground like ghosts dancing between the trees. The mud sucked at our boots with every step. We were about 2 miles from the village when the shots rang out. It was an ambush. I dove for cover as bullets tore through leaves and bark around me. The noise was deafening. Gunfire, shouting, the thud of grenades. In the chaos, I crawled deeper into the undergrowth, trying to circle back to my squad. But the jungle all looked the same. Every tree, every bush, every shadow. After what felt like hours of crawling and running, stopping and listening, I had to face facts. I was lost. Night was falling fast. In the jungle, that happens quick. 1 minute there's light filtering through the canopy, the next it's dark as a cave. I knew staying put was dangerous. VC patrols could be anywhere. I had to find shelter. Using my compass, I headed east where I thought the village might be. Maybe I could find help there, or at least hide until morning when I could try to find my way back to base. It was well past midnight when I saw the first light. A small flicker between the trees, then another. The village. Relief washed over me like a cool breeze. I approached slowly, staying low. The village was small, maybe 15 huts arranged in a circle around a central clearing. No signs of VC, just a few cooking fires burning low. An old man spotted me first. I raised my hands to show I meant no harm. I expected fear, maybe anger. Instead, he smiled. His teeth were stained dark red from betel nut, and in the firelight it looked like his mouth was filled with blood. "American," he said. Not a question, but a statement. "Come, eat." I was hungry and tired enough not to question my luck. The villagers gathered around, curious but not hostile. They offered me rice and some kind of meat stew. It tasted strange but good, and I was too hungry to care. The village chief spoke broken English. He told me I could stay the night, and in the morning someone would guide me back toward my base. I thanked him, relief making me almost dizzy. That night they put me in a hut at the edge of the village. The bed was just a mat on the floor, but it felt like heaven after days in the jungle. I fell asleep almost instantly. I woke to strange sounds, chanting, drums. It was still dark outside, but through the cracks in the bamboo walls I could see firelight dancing. I grabbed my rifle and peered outside. The villagers were gathered in the center clearing. They moved in a slow circle around a fire that burned higher than seemed possible. The chanting grew louder, more urgent. Then I saw what they were doing. They were cutting something. No, someone. A body lay on a stone in the center of their circle. I couldn't tell if it was a man or woman, but I could see the glint of knives as they worked. My heart pounded so hard I thought it might burst from my chest. I had to get out. These people weren't just villagers. They were something else entirely. I slipped out the back of the hut, keeping low. The jungle was just 20 yards away. If I could reach it without being seen, I might have a chance. I was halfway there when a child spotted me. She didn't scream or point. She just stared, then smiled that same red-toothed smile the old man had given me. Then others turned. The chanting stopped. I ran. Branches whipped my face as I crashed through the undergrowth. Behind me I heard them coming, not shouting or yelling like you'd expect, but moving quietly, purposefully. Somehow that was worse. I ran all night. Every time I thought I'd lost them, I'd hear a twig snap nearby or catch a glimpse of movement in the darkness. They were hurting me, I realized, like an animal. Dawn broke, and I stumbled into a clearing. My legs gave out, and I fell to my knees, gasping for breath. That's when I saw it, our base camp in the distance. Somehow I'd made it back. I staggered the last half-mile, falling through the perimeter where startled soldiers grabbed me. I tried to tell them about the village, the ritual, the chase. They looked at each other with concern. The medic gave me water and checked me for wounds. "You've been missing for 3 days, Jenkins," my sergeant said. "We thought you were dead." "The village," I insisted. "We need to check it out. They're killing people there." A patrol was sent out that day. I stayed behind, too exhausted to move. When they returned that evening, the lieutenant came to see me. "There's no village where you described, Jenkins. We found a clearing that might have been a settlement once, but it's been abandoned for years. Just some old fire pits and rotting huts." "That's not possible," I said. "I was there last night. They fed me." The lieutenant shook his head. "Doc thinks you got hit in the ambush, maybe a concussion. You probably wandered in circles for days, hallucinating from dehydration." I wanted to believe him. It was easier than the alternative. 2 weeks later, I was shipped home. The Army doctors diagnosed me with combat fatigue and sent me back to Ohio with a medical discharge. I tried to forget Vietnam, to forget that village. But sometimes I wake up in the night hearing those drums, and sometimes I catch myself in the mirror and notice my teeth look stained and dark. And I remember the taste of that strange meat they fed me. How much I liked it. How much I still crave it. The doctors say it's just dreams, flashbacks from the war. But yesterday I found myself driving to the butcher shop 3 towns over. The one where the owner doesn't ask questions when you place a special order. I think I brought something back from that village after all.